Thanks, Nathan. I'm here on Holt Road, near the Brentwood city limit. This tree here marks the spot where a young man died and his girlfriend's life was changed forever.
My story begins the Saturday after Thanksgiving, November 29th, 2008. I was in a car accident with my boyfriend at the time, Zach. He was bringing me home. It was 11:30. We were trying to make curfew, and he decided to pass the car in front of us on a double yellow line. We passed the car and we were fine, and then he lost control. We spun around, went off the road, hit a ditch, flipped, went up 9 feet, and wrapped around the only tree at over 70 miles per hour. It took the excavation team 58 minutes to remove me from the car. The floorboard and the dashboard were wrapped around my legs and they were pinned up against the tree. And by the time the paramedics and the excavation team got there, I had already lost over half my blood, and my left leg was hanging on by one ligament. And by the time I got to Vanderbilt, they had already placed the orders to amputate both legs and had given me a less than 15% chance to live. I ended up breaking both tibia and fibula in both legs, both femurs, strongest bones in your body, my pelvic bone in 2 places, 3 fingers on my right hand, and the C2 vertebrae in my neck completely, which is also known as the hangman's fracture, and that injury alone should have killed me instantly. I have had now 24 surgeries to rebuild my legs. I have rods and plates and screws and anchors in both legs, and both legs are completely skin grafted. But recovery is still ongoing. It's a daily process.
My name is Allison Wilson, and I was one of the first people to come up on the crash after it happened. So I pulled over, grabbed a flashlight out of my glove box, and went to go see if I could help. And that's when I came up on the car wrapped around the tree. I went up and looked to see if I could help the driver. He was unconscious. I pretty much thought he was dead. It was honestly the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. At that point, I could hear Brittany screaming, so then I knew there was another person in the car. I could see her moving, and she was screaming, and it was this complete scream of terror. I did only thing I knew to do, which was to start praying. Being a mom, I knew that there were parents out there that were getting the worst news you could get as a parent and living a parent's worst nightmare.
I'm partnered with Vanderbilt Children's Hospital's Pediatric Trauma Prevention Programs, Be in the Zone, Turn Off Your Phone program. It's a program that invites different schools into the hospital to see what happens when you have a car accident. I've been to I don't know how many schools across the mid-state, from literally the Kentucky border down to the Alabama and Georgia border, all in between. And then I have a juvenile court class once a month for teens that have been ticketed with reckless driving. The heartfelt, the emotional pull when I see teens start dabbing their eyes, they start sniffling. And once I hear that stillness, I know that I've got them. They're listening. And that's the reaction I need from them, to know that I'm not some commercial on the TV telling them about reckless driving. I'm someone that is there showing them this is exactly what can happen.
I think it's really important what she's doing, because kids forget that what they do impacts a lot of people. So there were a lot of people impacted by that accident.
I never thought an accident of this magnitude was a possibility. Did I think it was going to happen to a friend of mine, anyone I knew? No, I thought it was stuff you saw on TV, stuff you heard on the news, not me.
By sharing her story, Brittany Leedam hopes to prevent accidents like this from happening in the future. Noah True, WBHS 9 News.